another session. I hope many of you must remember that a few weeks ago we talked about women well-being and how Ayurveda can look into those issues, what a woman can face in their life, whether it is their P.M.S issues or uh, menopause issues or infertility issues and miscarriage and other many problems related with them. And many of our listeners and clients have requested us and asked us that you mention about many things very briefly in a general overview that what Ayurveda can offer in such issues. But you have not gone much in detail, and we were planning to put our detailed Ayurvedic program, even though each program for these issues, whether it's the menopause or premenopause or P.M.S or infertility issues and miscarriage issues, each case according to Ayurveda will be unique and their requirement, their causes will be unique. But still, there are specific guidelines which need to be incorporated by majority of the women in such cases. And we were going to come up with a lot of our uh, these talks in the coming week. But yesterday I was reading our local newspaper Herald and found that they are bringing up in a series of articles or some kind of talks and by some editor on women's issues, especially the miscarriage. Now, we all know how traumatic miscarriage can be for a woman. And it was very sad to read in that newspaper that they talk about that, yes, it is traumatic, it is very much an issue with many women, and they mentioned that a lot of our New Zealand women are suffering from this issue, even though it is not a so much talked issue. Um, and and it's not only in New Zealand, all over world that is becoming a big issue in women's nowadays. That why they have this sort of problem now so frequently, and they in the paper were trying to blame that, oh, it's in a chromosomes abnormalities and this and that, which is perfectly fine. Means that is what we always talk about in Ayurveda too, that imbalances, when they are there in any individual, that is where the problem comes up. And especially when we talk about miscarriage, even in I always have shared with the client as well as in our classes when we talk about women and children's well-being, that women might have at a very right time um, their ovulation period, and eggs will be discharged, and male can have an optimum uh, sperm count. Still, the conception might not take place, or even the conception take place, they can have any chances of miscarriage in the first trimester. And the same principle we talk about in our Western medicine, that the miscarriage can be in the first trimester more frequently. But question here is, whereas Ayurveda can give you the reason that why those issues are there and how they need to be corrected before someone want to go for conception. That is where there is a very set program for each couple when they want to go for conception. Conception is not something that you can wake up in the morning and you try to perceive that, okay, I would like to go for um, and try for conception. If that happens, then there is always a chance that some kind of issues can come up. Even you might have a full pregnancy, wonderful, but then the little one can have so many issues. And that's another thing we always talk about, that why our children, even they are born with a gold spoon in their mouth, why they have so many physical and mental imbalances nowadays more frequent. So coming back to the miscarriage, question comes up that what kind of things can happen and what kind of things can be avoided. First of all, how we can identify that yes, some women's if they are going to go for conception, they will have more chances. In Ayurveda, we in a simple term we talk about when your bed is not ready. Now, what is bed? Bed, we talk about the uterus, where that fertilized ovum has to grow. Now, that is the one element, and it can happen due to either of the three intelligence which are governing that area, our pitta, vata, and kapha component, which are responsible for various structures in that bed. And if that bed is not conducive, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say, for example, you have a nice bed, you somehow, some days, either your duvet is not right, either your um, pillow is not right, or either your mattress is not right. No matter how normally deep sleep you are used to, on that day you cannot sleep perfectly and you will wake up fatigued and tired. Same situation can happen. You might have a perfect fertilization, but then that fertilized ovum cannot grow effectively, and then chances are in the first trimester one has to suffer from that problem. So same issues we deal with, and we look into that what can be done. Many times I have shared with the clients or even students that look, any woman when she's coming to you, if she is complaining that she has some more intense period pain, sometimes she has a lot of clotting come up, sometimes even the woman who has been on pills for a long time and now they are coming off the pill, right? They always have a chance of um, first trimester's miscarriage happen. And then if a woman is time to time feeling lack of enthusiasm, lack of cheerfulness, sometimes don't feel like talking to someone and getting a lot of mood swings, she will have the chances of getting into these issues when they are looking for the conception part. In the same way, if someone is always having a bit of lower back problem, if the woman has a bit of shallow breath, and sometimes they have a bit of loose bowel motions or even constipation, those kind of women has a more tendency towards these problems coming up their way. And this is what we call as imbalances of pitta, vata, and kapha intelligence. So our main focus goes on to correct them. And to correct them, we have specific daily routines for them. There are so many Ayurvedic herbs which are very wonderful for that, whether we talk about Shatavari, whether we talk about Ashoka, whether we talk about Kumari, whether we talk about Ashwagandha, Shwet Musli, Black Musli, so many herbs, and they can be in different kind of product, and they work very effectively. But there is no point of using those kind of products unless someone is keen to look at their lifestyle and look at their diet and try to make changes there. So that is where we come up from the Ayurvedic perspective, and I thought after going through this news, just to share with everyone that yes, we have the chances to correct the problem with the woman, those who are keen to look towards the Ayurvedic approach, and it's not something that it cannot be done by any system. Ayurvedic medicine has an offer for that, has an option for that, has an answer for this problem, and one need to look at it. It's a sad part that our government or any officials of health ministry don't support these kind of thing, but at least people who suffer from that, they don't need to suffer if they are ready to take control of their health and follow Ayurvedic principles. So that's what I would like to share. Thank you.